Hello friends, welcome to this session, and you know that in this session we have to discuss the solution for our second assignment, which is about creating a student class which is used to find out the average marks for two subjects. So you know that in this assignment we have to create a student class which will have attributes like name, age, subject 1, subject 2 marks and average marks. So you should create constructor first to initialize the value for name and age. Then we have to create set marks method, then average marks method, then display student information method. We will be discussing the implementation for this problem statement in this session. So let's start this session. So here you can see that I am creating a class student, defining constructor. As you know, first parameter should be self. Then I am passing the name and age for the student, assigning this to attributes of the object by referring self.name equal to name and self.age equal to age. And it's important to note that I am initializing all other attributes for the object as 0. So subject 1, subject 2 and average marks are initialized as 0, while name and age is initialized as the parameters passed during creation of object. Then we have set marks method. Of course, the first parameter will be self, and you know that this method is used to set the marks for subject 1 and subject 2. So I am getting the marks from the user as a parameter and then setting this as the attributes for object. Then here we have get average marks method. This is simply used to return the average mark, so it is not taking any parameters. So it will have only one parameter as self so that it can access its attributes. So here we are calculating the average marks and setting it as self subject 1 marks. So here we are accessing attribute subject 1, then we are accessing the attribute subject 2 marks, finding its average and storing it back into self.average marks. So average marks will be updated and then we are returning this average marks. The final method is display student info. It don't require a parameter, so we have only one attribute as self so that it can access all the attributes. Here we are displaying name, age, information about subject 1, subject 2 and average marks. It is important to note that whenever you need to access the attributes, it should be self.name, self.age and so on, because self is used to refer the instance of the class. So here we have defined our full class as specified in the requirement sheet. So you can see again, in student class we are defining the constructor which is used to set the value of name and age and will set all other attributes to 0. Set marks is used to set the value of subject 1 and subject 2 according to the specified parameters. Get average is simply calculating the average and returning it. And finally we have display student info, which simply create print statements to display the value of all the attributes. Now the next task is to create instances of this student class. So here I am creating student 1 with name John and age 23. Then I am setting the marks for John. 34 will be the marks for subject 1 and 45 will be the marks for subject 2. Then here I am creating object for student 2 with Nick and 22. Then I am setting the marks for student 2, and here this is for student 3. So I am creating 3 objects, and then you can simply call display info function for given object. So student 1 dot display student info will display the student information for object student 1 or first student. Similarly I am calling display info for object 2, and then I am calling display info for object 3. So it will display the information for 3 students according to the given values. So let's run this code to see its output. Here you can see that we have desirable output. There are 3 students, so this is the information for student 1, name, age, and marks in subject 1, subject 2, and average. Then we have data for student 2, and then we have data for student 3. It is important to note that here in display info for average marks, I am calling get average marks function, because this function will return the average marks. So here self dot get average marks, and it will return the average marks by finding the average for subject 1 and subject 2. So that's why I am using self dot get average marks. Here I am calling this function, so it will return the average marks, and that returned value will be displayed in front of average marks. You can even call this function separately and store average marks in a variable, and then you can display that value. But yeah, we can do this in one statement only by just calling the function in print statement. This is all about the solution of this assignment. The code discussed in this video session is given in the description, so you can directly run this code. So in next session we will discuss another assignment, another problem statement, to further extend your knowledge in object oriented. So please watch next video session for third assignment. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.